Great build up to the start of the first game of the season. The Avalanche hosting the Ducks. All right, let's look at tonight's sports starting lineup, Peter. We'll start with the goaltenders.
Well, Victor fast in net for the Anaheim Ducks. Great season last year's first year in the National Hockey League. Absolutely tremendous for Anaheim. But the man for the Colorado Avalanche, Mike, I believe he is the key. Semyon Varlamov is the key to the season for the Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche defensive core needs to tighten up in their own zone. The forwards have to be a big part of that tightening up process, and the Avalanche are working on that every single day. And Varley has to be the Varley that they know he can be. The players trust him.
Just about set to go for the opening faceoff. HD coverage tonight presented by Nova Home Loans. Bring it home to you in high definition. And you just saw a glimpse there. Patrick Roy behind the bench. First time as a head coach in the National Hockey League. And we are set to go. Matt Duchene will take the opening faceoff for the Avalanche. Zaku Koivu for the Anaheim Ducks. And we are underway, and the season has begun. So much buildup. All that happened during the course of the late spring into the summer for the Avalanche. And now, hockey begins. Let's take a look at the rest of the Ford lineup. You can see the line combinations. Duchene with O'Reilly on one side and Downey on the other to start the game. Great save for Varlamov. Peter, you said he's going to be a key. And how about that? In the first 30 seconds, he makes a spectacular save.
You're right. There was that oh my gosh goal that goes right against you in the first minute after all the buildup.
Varlamov did not let it happen. Erik Johnson has the puck for the Avalanche. Moving out of his own zone. Makes the headman pass. And there he is, Alex Tanguay. First time in an Avalanche uniform. You got to go back all the way to April of 2006 as the puck is tipped over the glass and out of play.
Mike, 18 years old, plus a month. That's how old this young man is. The youngest Avalanche player ever. We're going to see him brought along slowly. Be interesting to see, Mike, how much ice time he gets over the course of a game. Is it 14 minutes? Is it 16 minutes? How does Patrick Roy use him? Mom and dad and sister in the building tonight, you know. This young man's got a lot of stuff going on in that mind.
It really is remarkable when you think about franchise being the youngest player ever. It's amazing. Ducks have the puck. Scoreless first period. Just beginning things. Corey Perry. Oh, is he ever dangerous? With the puck back behind the net. There's Getzlaf. They're part of that dynamic duo. Chance in front. Getzlaf beating Perry, and that is one of the scariest duos in the National Hockey League when they're going. Landeskog trying to power his way towards the puck. Cut off. Landeskog lands a pretty good hit, though, in the corner. Ducks do have the puck. Run out to the red line. A steal by the Avalanche. Turns it back in. Andre Benoit. There's another new player for the Avalanche. Peter, what's in a capsule Andre Benoit story?
What the capsule is what took the National Hockey League so long to figure this guy out. This guy is he's got poise. He handles the puck well. Great shot from the point. He'll help quarterback the power play for the Avalanche, and just finally got a chance last year in the National Hockey League with Ottawa.
He's wearing number 61 for the Avalanche. He's chasing the puck, but it is snatched up by McKinnon. 29 for the Avalanche. Gets his first NHL shot turned aside by Fost. But Nathan McKinnon, we saw that little burst. And you talked, Peter, about how fast he is, and we just got a small glimpse of his speed. That puck is iced by the Ducks. A little anger happening out on the ice right now, but things seem to be calming down.
Mike, here's McKinnon coming in. I mean, look at just a couple quick strides, and he's gone. I mean, he's got an NHL stride at 18. I don't know how it gets much better. But Jamie McGinn came in right after that, Mike, and made the big hit. Jamie McGinn had himself a training camp. It was a perfect pros training camp. Worked hard. He knows he's going to be on that left side with McKinnon in the middle, and he is, I mean, the perfect fit for this young guy.
Peter's the sense if you have such a young player and you know a future star, this club hopes that he's going to be here for a long time. Do you have an obligation as one of the wingers to sort of look out and protect him?
Oh, absolutely. MacKinnon played his first game against these Anaheim Ducks in the exhibition series, and I guarantee you could tell that Anaheim knew that he was a #1 pick. There was a couple of times they made big, aggressive hits on him. But that's the nature of the beast. You're going to be tested, and he's going to have to live through those.
The puck playing around the end boards. Nate Ginnon sends it around to the far side. Tyson Barrie wearing a new number this year. He's number 4. And he shoots the puck ahead, and that's tipped into the corner. In front, Mitchell with a chance. Saved by 5. And the rebound comes back to John Mitchell. Centering that line with Bordeleau and McLeod. So we've seen all the lines so far for the Avalanche here in this first period. And the puck is turned away by Nick Bonino, number 13 for the Ducks. He sends it the length of the ice.
Sort of the forgotten line for the Avalanche, but in their role as that tough, hard-to-play against line, they're terrific. Plus, Mitchell and McLeod kill penalties for the Avalanche. Very valuable group.
Avs trying to chip the puck out. It's Benoit who does it. And the Avs defenseman got it down into the Duck zone. We're scoreless in the first period. Nearly 4 minutes gone. We've seen some pretty good hits so far. They're only going by the Avalanche. Ducks move the puck. The centering pass gets tipped. Waved in the corner. And Benoit whips the puck around to the far wing. Cut off by the Ducks. Played back behind the net. Guglielmo walked out in front. He shoots. And the pass save made by Varlamov up tight against that post. O'Reilly playing on the left side. It's a new position for him. He's been a centerman for the Avalanche, but he's playing on that wing with Duchesne. And center with the puck. The Ducks coming out of his own zone. Out the center, long pass. Corey Perry reaching for the puck. Stripped away by Landeskog. He gets bumped, but Stastny played it back between the skates of Hayda. The Avs defenseman's got it, but there is a whistle, and we will have our first penalty of the game. It comes 4:29 into the first period of play, and it's going against the Avalanche. Paul Stastny is headed to the penalty box.
Right up for tripping.
Like, if there is one thing that the Avalanche that did plague them in the exhibition series, the 6 games they played in preseason, where they took a few too many penalties and they got themselves into holes where the other teams were scoring a couple of goals. The Avalanche came back in a lot of games and really made games out of things they could have sort of let the game get away. But here is a key moment in this hockey game. The guy to watch out for, as far as I'm concerned, number 10, Corey Perry.
You know, special teams always so key in a game. The Ducks have the first power play. Did you get a sense that it is any different style-wise, system-wise, penalty killing for the Avalanche under Patrick Roy? And which of the coaches are running the special teams, and especially the penalty kill?
Well, you know that Put is now working with the defenseman. But I think one of the things you're going to see is a much more aggressive work down low by the defenseman, going right at the man.
Gets left. He's number 15 for the Ducks. Big guy, and he can move the puck. He's got it. Side of the net for Perry. Mealy challenge. Hayda got right there in a hurry, so to get him. Pass up ice. Bonino dropped it behind him for Perry. Ducks come right back in on this power play. Stastny's in the box. Pass across the crease. Ends up going to the far side. Palmieri. And the puck for the Ducks. Smashed around the boards by the Avs, but not enough to get it out. And there he is. We haven't talked about him at all yet. Number 8 for the Ducks. 43 years young. Teemu Selanne. One of the all-time greats. I mean, he is headed for the Hall of Fame in the National Hockey League. He has said this is his last season. He will play in the National Hockey League.
And he'll be used a lot differently this year for the Anaheim Ducks than he was last year. He said he got a little stubborn, trying to play every back-to-back game. They're probably looking, instead of 82 games, 60 games for Selanne this season.
There's still a treat to watch the Finnish flash. He can still skate among the best, and he certainly can still score goals. Behind the net, Varlamov leaves it. Hayda hammers the puck around, got it out. There's 20 seconds left in the Stastny tripping penalty.
Got a great number for you. There are 25 players active in the National Hockey League with 250 goals. Selanne has 251 power play goals. Isn't that ridiculous?
Well, he had 76 in his rookie year. All told goals. The puck is tied up by Varlamov at the side of the net. Well, the Avs have only 1 more second to kill in this penalty. And so far, the Ducks have had just 1 shot on net during this power play. They've had a couple of close calls with Perry and Getzlaf. They always make you hold your breath when they get the puck on a power play.
And you see, for Patrick Roy, he's very visual in how he coaches. You saw him with the hand. Point to Stastny, saying, okay, you're getting in there, you're getting involved. And that is the same thing that he does in practice. He embraces the moment of what he's doing.
Stastny's out of the penalty box. So the Avalanche have killed the penalty. Pass up to Stastny. Immediately sent it towards the boards for McLeod. He gets hit by Cogliano. Backhanded around the wall by Ben Lovejoy of the Ducks. Tipped back into the corner. Lovejoy's got it for the Ducks. Sends the puck to center ice. It's a race. Erik Johnson coming after it. Koivu tailing him. Johnson for the Avalanche. Wouldn't push the puck out of the zone. It does ricochet into the center zone.
Like one thing we haven't seen, and fans should be aware of, where it looks like it's going to be icing. There's a new hybrid icing that will try to, let you understand. I absolutely hated it the first exhibition. Hated it. And then as they went along,
what did you not like?
I didn't understand the function. But now, as we watched 6 games, I started to see the safety aspect of it. I saw the reasoning behind it, and the NHL adopted it. I don't think the NHL thought they were going to adopt it when it first, but the players like it.
Shot from the near side boards by Steve Downey. And Downey, well, he just didn't play much last year. Got hurt early in the season. Missed virtually all season last year. Now, yeah, it was a lockout year and a shortened season, but from all accounts, Peter, he's back. He's 100% and wanted an addition. This is like getting a new player for the Avalanche.
A top, hard-nosed player that plays well with Duchesne and O'Reilly.
Benoit shot. Boy, he sizzled one wide. He's got a bit of a rocket there from the point. So it is O'Reilly, Downey, and Duchesne. It is a really interesting line combination. A lot of skill out there, but Downey gives you that little sandpaper as well. Back to the point. Duchesne hooks the puck towards Downey. Pass high in the slot. Taken away from Barry, lifted out to center by Bonino of the Ducks. Nate Guinness back to pick up the puck. He had a cup of coffee with the Ducks, formerly with that organization. He's the guy who's been just trying to find a place in the NHL. He's been with several different organizations trying to find a place that it's going to work, and Avs hoping this is going to be the case here.
The Avalanche have 4 players, in that same category, that they came to the Avalanche because it looked like a club new, rebuilding. They were going to get a chance.
Ducks move the puck out towards center ice. Long pass for Perry, but there's a whistle. And we've got a stop in action. No score in our first period. Let's talk about, we're talking about hybrid icing. Let's talk about some of the new rule changes, Peter.
Well, you get a 2-minute penalty for removing your helmet to have a fight. Uniform violations, and you can't tuck your jersey, and you can't have any sort of equipment exposed. Mandatory visors now for every player that has not played 25 games in the National Hockey League. The shallower nets increase the room behind the net, and the goalie pads are 2 inches shorter.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a few moments. More first period play from Pepsi Center. The Avalanche opening night. No score in the game against the Ducks. Why don't we take a look at who is in the groove? This is presented by Groove Subaru. And naturally, we want to talk about Nathan MacKinnon.
And why Duchesne, why Landeskog, why O'Reilly? Because they were all also 18 years old when the Avalanche drafted them. You see their totals over the course of their final 2 years dwarfed by MacKinnon. He absolutely tore it up last year all the way to the Memorial Cup. He was the best player in the Memorial Cup. And I think the decision had been made before that, but boy, that didn't hurt his stock with the Avalanche.
Here we go again. More first period play in Denver, Colorado at Pepsi Center. No score between the Ducks and the Avalanche. The Avs have killed a penalty. And right now, shots are even at 3.
And let me try and explain the hybrid icing. Okay? Puck was shot down the ice, and there's going to be an icing. If the defensive player gets to the dots first, they automatically blow the whistle. If the offensive player gets to the dots first, they wave it off, and it's not icing. And that's basically how it's going to work. There's one little wrinkle in there that, let's just go with that for now.
Corey Perry with the puck, quick snap pass to Getzlaf, and he rifles it in and off the end boards. Perry ends up with the puck for the Ducks in the Avs zone. Goes behind the net. He gets tagged there by Erik Johnson. MacKinnon reaching in for the puck. There he is, number 29 for the Avalanche, playing in his first National Hockey League game. When he was drafted, he was actually 17 years old. Back to the point. Shot. That one trickled to the front of the net. Swept away by Getzlaf. Perry tees it up, and he took a hit. As he took that shot, Jamie McGinn flattened him. Johnson for the Avalanche, moving out in the center. Perry's a little slow skating up the ice following the play.
Oh, believe me, McGinn, I don't think we talk often enough. Like, he's the perfect hockey player. 6'2", 210 pounds, and he skates, he's strong, he's got great balance. And Mike, he will hit you when you're in that right spot.
Cam Fowler sends the puck behind the Colorado net. Reach it in. Demo Solani. His pass back to the point. And cross to the near side boards of the Avalanche zone. No score. We're halfway through first period play. Pass up ice for O'Reilly. But Fowler gets the puck first for the Ducks. Back into the round. Solani winning at the half board. Squeezes it free. Fowler jumping up on the play. Sends it across. And there is Jakob Silfverberg, number 33. It's pronounced Jakob Silfverberg. He was part of that big Bobby Ryan trade with Ottawa.
Biggest trade in the offseason, certainly, with Bobby Ryan going to Ottawa. Silfverberg was the main piece as far as a player that Anaheim had to have. They also got a first-round pick, some other things, but Silfverberg, they definitely wanted him.
Centering try, comes wide of the net. Back up the wing. Shot for the point goes wide. And that try by Sami Vatanen. Number 45 for the Ducks. Avalanche have the puck. McLeod moving in on the off wing. He gets to the shot on net. Boston's able to steer it away. They have to put 4 shots on Boston. Peter, he was a goaltender that nobody really knew much about outside of the Anaheim organization. But what a season he had. Shot by Johnson, broke the stick. Shot by McLeod, and that one pinballed around, still alive behind the net. Mitchell's got it for the Avs. Back to the point. Johnson went to the bench. To the point, shot by Hayda, and that is caught by Fost. And he holds on, and things get a little feisty following that whistle. And why not? You got Borlo, McLeod, Mitchell out there for the Avalanche. They're going to stir it up. No score in the first from Denver. Hockey on Altitude is served up by DQ, the home of fan food, not fast food.
Of all the players that were asked to make the biggest change by Patrick Roy, it was Ryan O'Reilly. Mike, you move from center ice where you are in the middle of the action. I've had a couple of conversations with O'Reilly about playing that left side. He said, you know, I want to get down right in the mix in front of especially the defensive zone net, but I can't. I got to stay back, and he's done a terrific job of really playing the position of left wing, but not letting it hurt his offense. And he and Duchesne have done a nice job of not jamming each other. They've given each other that good space. They've been able to make some good plays.
From the point, shot by Lovejoy, gets tipped wide of the net. Avs have got it. Peter, I know you, the majority of your career at center, did you ever have to have any situations where you were forced to play on the wing?
I did, and I hated it. I felt like, you know, you weren't even part of the game. So I think for O'Reilly, that's what he's working to really keep himself like committed to what he's supposed to do.
Well, we've got another penalty. The Avs earlier had Paul Stastny served 2 minutes for tripping. Now it's the Ducks. We've got a man going to the penalty box. And it's former Avalanche player Daniel Winnick. A hooking penalty is called at 11:45, and so the Avalanche get their first chance on the power play.
Bruce Boudreau, what a great job he did in his first full season last year with the Anaheim Ducks. A finalist for the Coach of the Year in the NHL. But Mike, this power play, watch the wrinkle that the Avalanche throw. Johnson starts to the point. He is going to go right to the slot when they get that puck down low, and he is going to be that guy in front of the net.
The reasoning for that, Peter, is what? His size?
Barry and Parento are the man. They man the point after things get shaken out, and then all of a sudden you move the big body down low. I asked him, how do you like it? And he said, I haven't done it. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute. Yeah, I did it a couple times, 5-on-3 for the St. Louis Blues. But it's just a whole different look for him.
Parento with the puck, makes the pass across for Eric Johnson. He sends it to the front of the net, tipped by Stastny, that goes wide. So the Avs get their first power play opportunity of the regular season. Varlamov slides out of the net to handle the puck and set it up. So the Avalanche first man advantage. It's Andre Benoit. You told us earlier he's got some skill on this power play.
And he's paired on the point with Alex Tanguay.
Duchesne bursts in. Oh, and it shot went off the right arm of Victor Foss and then ricocheted out. You talk about speed and then bursts of energy. Boy, there are few in the NHL who can do it like Matt Duchene.
And to me, this is a different Matt Duchene from last year and this year to his first 3 years. The use of the whole ice. You see him coming down that left side. So often he pigeonholed himself. He's coming down that right side, easy to read. Now he's using that whole blue line to enter the zone.
Good one on the draw, but then the puck floats high. Silverberg turns and shoots the puck down the ice into the ad zone. 45 seconds remaining, and Winnick's penalty off for hooking. Bolshevik back for the puck, gets tangled up. Duchene trying to work the puck free for the Avalanche, but the Ducks have got it. And scooped out by Bonino.
You see, Mike, that when you're trying to enter the zone, you see one bad pass. The Avalanche made one bad pass in the skates. Instead of entering the zone, it's down in the Avalanche zone.
Duchene wheels the puck across. Avs are onside. O'Reilly dishing back towards Duchene. That's picked off by the Ducks, and the clearing attempt hit the linesman Don Henderson. That gives the Avs a little bit extra time to have the puck. Otherwise, they would have to go all the way back into their own zone to get to it. Winnick is out of the penalty box, and so the Avalanche not able to score on their power play opportunity. They had one shot during that 2-minute man advantage.
Well, for Steve Downing, he played exactly 17 minutes and 47 seconds last year. He was injured in the second game against the LA Kings. And usually what that means, Mike, it's an early October injury that keeps you out for the season. It was January 22nd. So that is just a remarkable recovery. And just talking to the training staff, I guess he worked as hard as you can possibly work to get himself ready for the start. He wanted to be there for the start of training camp, and he was.
No score in this one. 6 minutes left, first period. Each team with a power play opportunity. The Avs are out shooting the Ducks 7-3. In fact, they've had the last 4 shots on net. The Ducks are called for icing.
Ian Parento makes now. He started camp with O'Reilly and Duchene, but then they felt, you know what, let's move down, and let's move Parento down with McKinnon, so that he can help move the puck, carry the puck, so that McKinnon doesn't have to carry the puck all the time. Parento, as we saw last year, so good with the puck.
McKinnon battling for the puck in the corner. One-on-one with Matthew Perreault, recently picked up in a deal by the Ducks. Thrown in front, and Varlamov stuffed it. Matt Beleskey, and another save by Varlamov. Couple of terrific saves, but especially that one right at the top of the crease by Beleskey, and that keeps it a 0-0 game in the first period. Time for Did You Know, presented by Stevenson Automotive. Here's the question: how many other former goalies are currently head coaches in the National Hockey League? C1 is 1, C2 2, or C3 none. You can text your answer to 53548. Win some tickets to an Avalanche game. There is Patrick Waugh. Mike, we consider him the greatest goaltender that's ever played.
Oh, absolutely. We've had some argument from people in New Jersey, and well, you know, good argument, but never good enough.
Here we go. For first period play from the point. Shot, glove save made by Varlamov. He really looks like he's seen the puck well tonight, Peter.
You know, again, you look at the work ethics. A goaltender in the old days, Mike, it was all on just talent. Now everything you got to work every day on, and it's shot after shot after shot from the same spot, and then you move shot after shot after shot from the other side. It is so much work.
I was watching practice yesterday, Peter. Even when there was nothing, they were working on some things at center ice with the skaters. I'm watching Varlamov and Giguère on the other end. They're just working on sliding back and forth, up and down. There's no shots. There's nobody around. They're just on their own, just working.
Well, one is cold. Yeah, one is cold in that building, so they try to stay warm. But yeah, absolutely.
And then before the start of practice, Francois Allaire, the new goaltending coach, working hard with him. Bochman moves the puck to center. Koivu tapped it up off the boards. The shot gets tipped, and Came across and able to tip that one out of play as Winnick was bearing in on Varlamov.
Well, Semyon Varlamov now in his third year at the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, great save early. He's been solid, he's been strong, he's been fine to the puck. Here's the last save he made. He had the pad right along the post. These are smaller pads now. And it's going to be interesting to see if a couple of shots are where they've taken away this, Mike, the area is the 5-hole. The 5-hole is now, 5-hole being that shot between the legs.
Especially when they're butterflying down.
When they're going down to the butterfly.
Here's a chance for O'Reilly. Score! Ryan O'Reilly. There's your first goal for Patrick Roy in his rookie season as NHL coach. And it's Ryan O'Reilly. He made the big move, Patrick Roy did, putting over on the left wing, and it pays immediate dividends in the first game of the season.
He has instincts for stripping a player of the puck, for getting his stick in the lane. So many players, will get the stick in the lane, but they do not seem to have the ability to, to intercept that puck. And we've seen him do it time and time again. He has natural instincts for finding that pass that's going through the passing lane. And Mike, during preseason, he scored 3 goals. All 3 of them were goal scorers goals. And right there, another one. Just get the first one for the Avalanche.
Number 90, Ryan O'Reilly. An unassisted goal at 15 minutes, 39 seconds in the first period. O'Reilly.
All right, look at our Pepsi scoring summary for the Avalanche. Ryan O'Reilly. It's the first goal of the season. It comes at 15:39. It is an unassisted goal, and O'Reilly gets it done for the Avalanche, and they have started the scoring tonight and lead this game 1-0.
This Mitchell line, they have had one mission when they've been on the ice with McLeod or Orlov to hit every Anaheim Duck.
Nino's pass. Block got it back. Centering try. Tipped away by Mitchell. Snatched up and carried to center ice by Aaron Johnson. He took a hit. When Mitchell carries the puck in, stripped away from him, and angled back out to center ice by Anaheim. Johnson dashing away. Bonino on the forecheck for the Ducks. Back for Benoit. Off the boards. Parenteau skates the puck into the Colorado zone. Shoots it around the boards. And then it's cut off in the corner by Fistrick. The puck squeezed free. Silverberg scooped it with the backhand. Got it out of the zone. No icing though on the play. Benoit comes back for the puck. Andre Benoit sent it up the boards. Held in at the point. Shot trickling towards the front of the net. Way back towards the near boards, put back behind the cage, out in front. Ducks have got a chance, and another big save by Varlamov. He's looking sharp here in this first period. Avs lead it 1-0, a goal by O'Reilly at 15:39, unassisted. He made a steal. Here's another chance for the Avalanche, and it's blocked by the defenseman. And Solani will skate out in the center. Trying to beat Barry, makes the pass across for Brian Allen. Centering pass picked off in front of the net by Barry. He loses the puck. Getzlaf stole it. Backhander. That one went high. Back up the boards. Held in at the point. Put to the corner. Solani going to slide that pass through, but Landeskog with help from Ginnon makes the steal. Tanguay snaps the pass, but Getzlaf read it. Coming back defensively to steal that. But there you saw a little example of Tanguay. Boy, he can still see the right pass to make, but Getzlaf just took it away the last moment.
Yeah. Alex Tanguay, I mean, as far as wingers go, maybe the best passing winger the Avalanche have ever had.
O'Reilly checked by Boschman. Duchesne comes up with a puck. Bounced by Getzlaf. Shot by Downey. The save, the rebound. No, knocked out, backhand save. Oh my, what a couple of great chances for the Avalanche. Just couldn't get it in. Getzlaf has the puck. Crowd responding. They are loving the effort here in this first period.
Seeing a little, you can see what Waugh saw, but no one else did. O'Reilly and Duchesne, they could work together. 2 center icemen as a left winger and a center.
Fired in by Cagliano. His shot deflected off at Benoit in the final minute of the first period. Koivu centering pass picked off. Duchesne flying out to center. Headman pass for Downey. Over the line for O'Reilly. He shoots. It's wide of the net. Winnick back to get it for the Ducks. They'll make it to center ice into the end zone with a pass, but we got a whistle. The Ducks are offside.
Well, the Avalanche have had a terrific period. You knew that you had to have some goaltending, and Varlamov has made 2 gigantic left pad saves. They wanted to press the offense, use their skating ability, and they have now 14 shots on goal to 7 for the Ducks in this period. And O'Reilly with Duchesne and Downey had a couple of great shifts the last 2 times on the ice.
Bouncing puck to the corner. Corey Sarch is part of that Alex Tanguay trade. First major trade that Joe Sakic made. And I talked to him before the game. He said, you know, it's never easy. Had to trade a player, David Jones, that he had played with. I just felt it was the right move to make. You got 2 players who have won cups and try to bring some of that winning atmosphere into the locker room for the Avalanche. Sarch and Tanguay. Tanguay, of course, winning with the Avalanche in 2001. Looked at the center ice. Last second pick off, and what a good first period for the Avalanche. A lot to feel good about if you're Patrick Roy and Colorado.
You want your goaltending to be good? You want to keep the shots under 10, 7 against over the course of the period. You want to be physical. There were some huge hits, and you need a big play. O'Reilly gave him that.
He certainly did. He got the lone goal unassisted, coming at 15:39 of the first period, and that gives the Avs a 1-0 lead to take into the second period. You're watching NHL hockey on your home of the Avalanche, Altitude Sports. Don't go anywhere. Coming up after the break, stay tuned. We've got the Toyota Intermission Report next. Avalanche get a goal from Ryan O'Reilly. Breakaway after making a steal. He gets the first goal of the season, and so far the only goal of the game as the Avs lead the Ducks 1-0 after 1 period of play. Peter, what'd you like in that first period?
Well, there's a lot to like. But one of the things that I thought was really important for the Avalanche, they came out and they were physical. Throughout the lineup, there were guys with big hits. Jamie McGinn had 5 hits in that first period. And when you watch the hits made in the first period, they're good, hard hockey hits. Downing with a big hit. Downing gets in front of net. He's physical. He's moving the defenseman out in front. McGinn comes across. It's one of his 5 hits right there. And just crushes the guy. Mitchell in his line. Boom. That is a big-time NHL hit right here. But here, now watch all the Avalanche players in the right position. And then Ryan O'Reilly just picks it off. That's Boschman, their best defenseman. And O'Reilly, but it was the pressure on the puck. Boschman went to look to find somebody. There was nobody up ice. O'Reilly intercepts the pass. Just a beautiful shot. But that was a result of the players that were behind O'Reilly gave Boschman no place to put that puck. So it was, I mean, just again, one of those things for the Avalanche. Like they were looking for some goaltending. They got it, you know, maybe a little bit too much of it right in the first minute of the period. But for Patrick Roy, this is what he saw in Vegas. This is what he did not see consistently through the first 5 games. But it got better. And then in that last game against the LA Kings, it all kind of worked. And just talking to the players after the game, Mike, it was interesting, the idea that, oh yeah, you know what? We're getting. You know, this is what he wants. And again, there's Jamie McGinn. You look at his period for the Colorado Avalanche, .554, 5 hits, block shot, and again, setting the tone physically for the Avalanche. And Mike, if he has exactly statistically the year that he had last year, where he had 11 goals, 11 assists for 22 points, that works out to an 82-game schedule, Mike, 19-19-38. If he can have 20 goals, 20 assists with the way that he plays, what a valuable player he is to have in your top 9 forwards.
Here we go. About set to start the second period. Matt Duchesne make the face-off against Koivu. Saw this in the first period. The lines that began the game. Avs lead at 1-0. The Ducks offside going into the Colorado zone. And here are some stats for you. Look at that. Double the amount of shots in that first period for the Avalanche over the Ducks.
And, you know, when you look at the actual scoring chances, Anaheim, a couple of were you know, big-time saves that Simi Varlamov had to make.
Cogliano with the puck. Andrew Cogliano right now 3rd on the list among active players in terms of games played consecutively. One of the top Ironmen in the National Hockey League. Duchesne going to pass the puck up the boards, had it tipped out of play. Luxury has an address. Cooney Lexus invites you to see the full line of Lexus all-weather drive sedans and luxury utility vehicles for 2013. Available at Cooney Lexus of Littleton, Colorado Springs, and Greenwood Village.
Mike, if the Avalanche are looking for a team to sort of give them some hope, 2 years ago, Anaheim finished 13 in the West. Last year, they finished second in the West, and they won the Pacific Division. So teams can improve rapidly in the NHL.
Played back behind the net. Into the corner. Scooped up by Hayden. Flagged down by the Ducks. Shot goes wide of the net. And that chance by Patrick Maroon. And trying to work the puck out of the zone. They managed to move it up the ice for Tanguay. Cutting in. Dropped it back behind him for Stastny. But that one is batted away to center ice. Perry. 2-on-1 development. Getzlaf down the middle. Perry cuts across. He shoots and he shot it high. Oh, what a dangerous combination coming down the slide. Here's another chance. Big drag save by Varlamov. Oh, winding up for the big shot, Vatanen. And Varlamov came out and just denied him.
Well, an interesting play for the Avalanche, Mike. They get really aggressive. The defensemen jump up into the play, and all of a sudden it's a 2-on-1. Good hustle to get back, but what a play by Corey Perry. A couple of years ago, this man was the MVP in the National Hockey League, 50 goal scorer. He has a little bit of an off season last year and then struggled in the playoffs, did not score a goal in a 7-game series against Detroit. And he's on a mission this year. He wants to be on that Canadian Olympic team. He wants to have a great year.
Avalanche penalty number 26.
Have a power play. And Stastny takes his second penalty of the game.
Of the second period.
Stastny in the penalty box. Ducks on their second power play opportunity. And Bochum will carry the puck to center. Makes the pass ahead over the line down the near side. Palmieri save made by Varlamov. He gets tested again. The Avs shorthanded, able to make the save. Fox scoops the puck across Bochum. Avs a little pressure on that forecheck by McKinnon. We're seeing that there's Nathan McKinnon. For a minute there, I thought, am I seeing number 29 out there on the penalty kill? Second penalty kill of this season, and there's the rookie, Nathan McKinnon, in his first National Hockey League game, Peter, and he's killing penalties.
And you look at the numbers, that works out to be a, Mike, a 15 to 17 minute game for Nathan McKinnon. But he is going to be killing penalties. And the reason he's out there, one, they must have seen some good natural defensive instincts, but he's so fast, he's on you so quickly, he can really disrupt a power play.
All right, Peter, there have been some changes. It usually happens every season for most National Hockey League teams. Players come and go. Here's some players that now are part of the Avs.
Yeah, some of the new additions for the Avalanche. You got, the one that jumps out right away is Alex Tanguay, because he's tied with the last Stanley Cup club here for the Colorado Avalanche. But just important players on defense, important players up front. There's a mixture of new players all the way through the Avalanche lineup.
Behind the net, Cam Fowler handling the puck. 50 seconds remaining in the penalty on Stastny. Called for hooking at 1:08 here in the second period. Avalanche lead the game 1-0. O'Reilly with a goal in the first on a breakaway after he stole the puck from the Ducks. An unassisted goal. At 15:39, the Avalanche clear the puck, getting it out of their own zone. Pass out to center. Ford gets left. He finds Nick Bonino. Back across. Vatanen shoots it around the boards in the Avalanche zone. Going to go back towards the point. Corey Perry broken up by Duchesne, but kept in by Fowler. 5 seconds to go in the Stastny penalty. Shot by Fowler. That one glanced off the right arm of Varlamov and goes wide. Stastny's out of the box. Avs 2 for 2, killing penalties in the game. Centering try, deflected away. Hayden pushed the puck to center. Reaching for it. O'Reilly could not reel it in. And the Ducks get the puck back. But once again, the Avalanche killed the penalty. To the red line. Shot in around the boards. Scoop to the corner. Played off the boards. Landeskog. And Hayden shoots the puck into the Duck zone. We've got a whistle, and play is stopped with an icing call against the Avalanche.
Well, Mike, we remember him as a 19-year-old rookie for the Avalanche. In his second year, he helped his club win a Stanley Cup. He has a wonderful ability, Mike, to just slow everything down. He was such a part of that great line. Remember when Forsberg went down? Everyone thought the Stanley Cup run was over. Well, that line with Hayduk, Sakic, and Tanguay just simply took over.
Certainly did. 2 goals in that Stanley Cup, Game 7, including the game winner. Carried by Perreault into the Avalanche zone for the Ducks. Tipped in front. Varlamov steers that puck wide. O'Reilly comes up with the puck. Makes the pass ahead for the defenseman, Sarge. And ahead for Landeskog, the captain for the Avalanche. Second year as a captain. Third year in the National Hockey League. Last year, Peter, just didn't go the way that Landeskog wanted. An early injury on a big hit against him in San Jose, and never got his season going the way that he wanted to. And boy, does Landeskog, as the captain, want to come back and have a big season.
He is determined to be a difference maker inside of games. And we talked about in the pregame show. This is a guy that when he came into the Avalanche as an 18-year-old kid, 202 pounds, strong. Now he's powerful, 216, and he is just, Mike, he's built like a freight train. I mean, he is, you see him in the locker room, it's like, wow, is that a big man?
Up to center ice by the Ducks. Silverberg. Backhanded around. Barry trying to bounce it out of the zone. Slowed up by the Ducks. McGinn whips the puck to center. Lands in the neutral zone. Teed up. Hammered in. Right on target by Brian Allen. Johnson for the Avalanche. Sends the puck around the boards. McGinn is able to chop the puck to center ice. Oleski chases the puck down for the Ducks. His pass ends up coming in over the line. Spun around the boards. Avalanche on it. McGinn reversed the puck to the corner, and Tyson Barrie. Put pressure on by Oleski and Bonino. Spins the puck around the boards. And the Avalanche able to maneuver the puck through center. Coming back for it, Lovejoy for the Ducks. Off the boards, Bolesky's got it for Anaheim. He shoots off the chest of Varlamov, and he makes sure that there was not going to be a rebound for anybody to get to.
Now, you talked about a couple of new additions, Sarich and Benoit, two very, very different hockey players. For Sarich, he's won a Stanley Cup with Tampa Bay in '04, and he's big, he's strong, and he will, every game, there will be a hit that he makes that is bone crushing. With Benoit, it's a completely different story. He's poised with the puck, moves the puck well. He is going to eat up almost every game, like 20, 22 minutes, because he can play in all situations.
The Ducks have outshot the Avs 6-0 in this period. And this is a Ducks team last year. They went 30-12-6, won the Pacific Division. I mean, they just had an outstanding year last season. And it's a team that brought back most of the important parts of that team that had such success last year. Pass up the wing. Ends up going deep into the Duck zone. Victor Fox, goaltender, spun it around the boards. Cut off in the corner. Lovejoy sent off the glass to center for Corey Perry. Bounce to the head into the Avs zone. Right back out to center ice by Gettin. Bouncing puck. Stastny's got it. Shoots it to the corner. In the Duck zone, it comes free for Tanguay. Threw it out in front. And before Stastny could really get a hold of it and get a shot, it bounced. And Perry moves the puck in over the line for Koivu. Back towards Perry. Bounced off of him. He turns the puck through the center zone. Backhanded across. Fowler through center ice. Sends it into the Avalanche end. Knocked down by O'Reilly with a high sticks. No Avalanche player can touch it. The Ducks touch the puck. Play can continue, and that's what happened.
And for Anaheim right now, they've taken away the neutral zone for the Avalanche.
Steal at center by O'Reilly. He cuts in, makes the pass. Shot by Downey. Deflects to the point. The shot by Sarge goes wide. And around the boards, Downey's got it for Colorado. Scooped inside of the net for O'Reilly. Off the boards to the point. Just held it into the blue line. Wrapped around the boards. Played up the wing. Little chip held in by the Avs. Sarge's pass comes down the wing. And Fowler got it back to the Ducks. 13 minutes remaining, second period, 1-0 in favor of the Avalanche. O'Reilly's first period goal still holding up. Winnick for Anaheim, squeezes his way through, gets into the Avalanche zone, but we've got a whistle and a penalty coming up on the Ducks. When we return, Avalanche leading 1-0 will be on the power play again. Let's introduce your Ram Truck Avalanche Ice Girls. Ram Trucks, engineered to move heaven and earth. RamTrucks.com. Things are changing around the Avalanche.
Yeah, I'm going to bite that one. Yeah, sure.
All right, there was a penalty on Daniel Winnick. His second penalty of the game as he pulls down V.A. Parenteau.
Let's see if this can ignite the Avalanche offense. Sometimes even on a power play, maybe you don't score, but you start to get a little flow on the offense. The Avalanche now, almost 8 minutes gone in this period. If you have to get a shot on goal.
Penalty number 34, Daniel Winnick. 2 minutes for tripping.
Parenteau has the puck for the Avalanche. Drills it into the corner. Goes back to Parenteau. He's back to the point for Barrie. He gets some room. He shoots, and Foss got a piece of that and send it wide. Barrie hustles to hold the puck in, but Benino ends up with it for the Ducks. Sends it down the ice. And Varlamov will set it up 25 seconds into the Winnick penalty. Off for tripping at 7:16, putting the Avs on the power play for the second time in this game. Ducks at center with a steal. Cogliano cutting in shorthanded. He shoots, and he snapped that puck wide of the net. Sit back behind the cage. Johnson will take it for the Avalanche. He finds Parenteau. Parenteau weaving his way through center. He's on for Landeskog. Stripped away by Perry. And he'll send it down into the Colorado zone, and Varlamov with Getzlaf right in front of him, forced to cover the puck and have a face-off in his own zone.
Mike, we've been talking about Tyson Barrie for so long. I think fans fail to remember that it was his rookie year last year. We've been talking about it because he was that class with Duchesne and O'Reilly. He was a third pick. That's that season, a third-round pick that year. But last year, 21 minutes, 34 seconds per game, tops amongst all Avalanche players, not just defensemen. He still just plays 42 games in the NHL. There's so much more that he's going to learn.
And we all know it's difficult to learn that defenseman position, but especially if you're a guy that's counted on produce points, carry the puck, really get involved. Different than trying to learn being a defensive defenseman. And O'Reilly shot, saved by Fox, rebound shot through the chin. Steve Downie. A lot of the heavy lifting there done by Ryan O'Reilly, but it's Steve Downie who gets the power play goal, and the Avalanche lead it 2-0.
How good does this feel? You miss an entire season. You watch, you have to sit there and ride that bike and do all the weightlifting and all that stuff. You go through a summer. You just want to get things started. And in the opening night, he comes across. And again, Mike, when you watch just the poise with the puck. That puck didn't just lie there. He had to get it, move it forward, and put it in. I mean, that was a real nice play by Downie. He had to one-touch it forward to himself and put it in. Calm in that scoring zone.
Assisted by number 90,
Well, the Avalanche now lead this game 2-0. O'Reilly in the first period, and a power play goal from Steve Downie coming at 8:38 in the second period. O'Reilly with his second point of the game, and Alex Tanguay gets an assist on that one. I'm sure if things go the way that he wants it to this season, one of many assists.
Well, again, you'd be playing the point in the power play. Patrick Roy. I mean, you had to know that Patrick Roy agreed with this trade because Tanguay had lived with him. So he knew what kind of person, not just player, that he was bringing back.
2-0 Avalanche. Tanguay tripped up. Getzlaf goes down at center ice as well. They got tangled up together. And the puck pushed back into Colorado zone. Johnson. Hayden slides a quick pass up ice. Landeskog in shot. Glove save made by Victor Foss, the Anaheim goaltender.
perfect example of that play by Landeskog of what the Avalanche have been working on in practice. Guys driving towards the net. Two captions, Getzlaf and Landeskog, but you're going to see Mike right there. Great pass to Landeskog. Walks in, and look, Tanguay driving to the front of the net. Stastny driving to the front of the net. Driving to those traffic areas to find those rebounds. And if there's one thing you've been impressed with in this game for the Avalanche, they have met every physical challenge that Anaheim has thrown at them, and they have set the tone in so many areas physically.
Parenteau along the boards with the puck knocked down. The puck lifted free, kicked out to center ice. Ducks on the move. Down the wing comes Solani, breaks free, pass out in front. That deflects wide of the net. Bouncing puck corralled by McKinnon. We'll see a little of that speed as he comes in, trying to get by Lovejoy. The backhander goes wide. There's a little taste of that from McKinnon. And they use that speed to come in on that shot from the backside. Back behind the net, into the corner. Parenteau walked out in front. And that is stopped. Boy, a little struggle going on at this side of the net. And that's McKinnon and Lovejoy. Just a moment ago, McKinnon was going wide.
You know what?
On that backhander trying to get around Lovejoy, and now they tangle up in front of the net.
And I'll tell you right now, when you watch the replay, McKinnon started this. McKinnon was the instigator in this little pushing and shoving. Lovejoy was just going to play it. But watch the rush, the speed, and look, I always look at the defense. The defense right now is going, oh my gosh, am I in trouble? Here he goes. And Mike, it's a pure stride. It is a pure speed stride. Powerful, strong. But then watch it from the net. One of the things the Avalanche loved about him was his compete. Now, he and Lovejoy are tied up right here. The play right there, look, watch it. Watch him, watch him, watch him. The puck's going to come around. Here's a shot on net. Pushing a little bit, boom, he goes right up on top. And then Lovejoy's going, what? Okay, kid, listen, that's what you want to do. But McKinnon was right there.
Both McKinnon and Lovejoy will each receive minor penalties. Coming at 9:56. So we'll have a little 4-on-4 hockey here midway through this game. But the Avalanche leading 2-0. O'Reilly scoring in the first period. Steve Downing on the power play, scoring it here in the second period for the Avalanche. Bonino through center ice, chips the puck in. Gillespie wrapped up by Gettin. Bonino peels away free with the puck. Trying to cut across. He turns and shoots, deflected off the glove. Back in, another save made by Varlamov. Gillespie was being knocked down in front of the net. Somehow got a backhander off. Allen pivots and comes straight down the middle. He shoots, and that one is flicked away by Varlamov. Pushed ahead. 2-on-1 Avalanche. Mitchell with Barry. Mitchell, shot. It trickled through. John Mitchell makes it 3-0 for the Avalanche. A 2-on-1 developed. And Mitchell took the shot instead of making the pass, and it pays off.
Mike, watch the play. McLeod takes a hit to get the puck out of the zone. Barry with the speed, reads it, jumps up into the play. If that's Mitchell by himself, Mike, this doesn't go in because the defenseman's going to collapse across on him. You see how you have to respect the pass? And that allowed the Mitchell, the left-handed shot, to walk in and just put it through the legs of the goaltender. And a huge goal for the Avalanche, who started off a little shaky offensively. This period, come back with a power play goal and a 4-on-4 goal.
Wow, what a night for the Avalanche. You couldn't have written the script any better, Peter.
Nope.
Killing penalties, scoring on the power play, spreading the wealth in terms of the scoring. Things are going well right now.
You get McKinnon give you a little look at the kind of hockey player he is, the speed and the feistiness.
And I think you said it before the start of the game, Peter, one of the real keys is going to be Semyon Varlamov. Everybody knows that goaltending is so important. Peter, he made a save in the first 30 seconds of the game. It was big. The centering pass gets tipped. You think about it, the Ducks score that first 30 seconds, all of a sudden, everything you built up for the evening, you just let the air out of the balloon. Perry can't get around his man, and puck taken back by the Avs, but he made save after save in the first period. Here's a chance, Perry turns, and another save by Varlamov. Has he been sharp in this game? Corey Perry, a pure goal scorer denied by Varlamov. Things are going well for the Avs. John Mitchell's made it 3-0, and the Avs are enjoying tonight.
Well, we talked about the Avalanche being aggressive this season. We got a great example of it on the puck. Tyson Barrie, what a play he makes here. Now, Anaheim's coming into the zone, and you're going to watch now Tyson Barrie, number 4. Puck comes across, goes in the corner. We're now watch him break up the ice. Nice play by McLeod to take a hit, and then they're off. And Barrie, if he stays back, Mike, if he stays back, this is a nothing play. Instead, he forces the defenseman to respect the offside pass. And Mitchell, who's had the very first goal of the season last year, picks up one in game 1 this season.
That made it 3-0. By the way, Cody McLeod got the other assist on that Mitchell goal. So it's Mitchell from Barrie, McLeod at 10:42. Giving the Avs a 3-0 lead on opening night. Moreau has the puck. Sends it across the rink. Steal by O'Reilly. He shoots, and that one went wide. Back up the boards. Duchesne takes a hold of the puck. Throws it out in front. Switter's covered by Foss. They keep the play going. Ducks on the move. Taps up Bice. And the Ducks are called for being offside.
Well, the Anaheim Ducks, Patrick Waugh was saying before the game tonight, Mike, this is a good team. This is a real good test for the Avalanche. The coaching staff was really looking forward to this team. Now, they've got a couple players out. They're going to be important players as the season goes along. But this is a big club who had great success last year, and the Avalanche have come out and just been impressive the first 2 periods.
McKinnon served that roughing penalty. He and Ben Lovejoy called for roughing at 9:56. Puck covered to the side of the net by Foss. We got another penalty call.
And guess who drew the penalty? Number 29, McKinnon. He went in and the Duck player just tried to give him a little bit too much in the corner. McKinnon draws a penalty. The Avalanche back in the power play. Here it is right here. It's right on top of him. Stays with it. And I kept hearing Mike at the draft from not just the Avalanche people, but so many people in the draft. McKinnon, his compete level was so high. He did not give up on the puck.
Well, by drawing that penalty, Mark Fistrick, defenseman for the Ducks, goes into the penalty box. And 12-17 on the draw. Barrie shoots it across. Back towards the far side wall. The Avalanche on the power play for the 3rd time of the game. They are 1 for 2. Power play goal from Steve Downey made the game 2-0. Deflected and batted out. And Barrie will hustle back for the puck. "30 seconds into the Fistrick penalty. Avalanche Stastny. Parenteau, Landeskog. Oh, what a hit by Landeskog. That frees up the puck. It comes loose for Parenteau. Barrie and Johnson are the defensemen. Centering pass deflected wide to the corner. On it, Landeskog. It's drilled out of the zone by the Ducks. A race back into the Colorado zone. Parenteau breaks free of Cogliano. Circles back behind the Colorado net. And Barrie gets to center ice with the puck. Dishes off. Landeskog. Collision at the line. That caused the play to be offside. Time for What's on 10, presented by Coors Light. Friday night, the Avalanche host Shea Weber, Mike Fisher, and Seth Jones. And the Nashville Predators. Join us. Complete coverage begins at 6:30 on Altitude.
Like, how good was this draft year? As 18-year-olds, 7 of the top 10 picks this year have made their roster on opening day.
Although Nathan McKinnon said he was so surprised that his line mate, Justin Drouin, did not make the team with the 2nd overall pick.
Yeah,
third overall
pick to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but because Druin's skill set is supposed to be spectacular. He's not a big guy, so that may have played into it.
Got in around the boards, stopped behind the net, fought. And it flagged down by Downey. His pass back to the point, got away from Benoit. He'll chase the puck into the Colorado zone. Sends it across the rink for Tanguay. It's in over the line. His pass back for Tanguay. Centering try, picked off by Fowler. Could not clear it out of the zone. 5 seconds left in the fifth-strict penalty. That's waning seconds to this power play opportunity. Have not had a shot on net. And that power play is done. The Avs are 1 for 3 with the power play opportunities in this game, but lead it 3-0. O'Reilly centers in front. Duchesne digging for the puck, gets a little help from Downey. Play back to the point. Hayden has to rattle the puck around the boards, cut off by Getzlaf. Put it behind the net. 21 shots for the Avalanche, 18 for the Ducks, but Colorado leading at 3-0. O'Reilly, Downey, Mitchell have scored tonight. An opening night for the Avalanche. In front of a great crowd here on a Wednesday evening in Denver, Colorado. Burrow skates to center with the puck. His pass slowed up. He'll chase it down. Gets hit as he came to the line. Mitchell and the puck for a moment. Taken away. Burrow's shot. Quick snapshot. Deflects. And it goes out of play. And we'll be back with the Avalanche leading this one 3-0.
It's become a little bit of a tradition here in Colorado that a young player will live with an older player during his rookie year. Nathan MacKinnon, this summer, J.S. Giguère's wife is from the same area. They were visiting and they talked to the MacKinnon family, and they agreed that Nathan would be great for them to come and live in their basements. And it's, believe me, it's a finished basement. It's a great place and all that. But what cracks me up is usually the kids are a little older in these situations. He's got 3 sons, 6, 4, and 1. I said to Nathan, have you changed any diapers, Mike? If you had seen his face, there's not a chance. And I'm saying, you know what? I guarantee you, kid, before this year's over, you'll change a diaper.
What a wonderful situation, though. We've certainly seen that before with the Avalanche. Older players have done that. We mentioned about Alex Tanguay, living Patrick Waugh. With the puck on the near side. Duchesne has the puck for Colorado. Works to the side of the net. Centering pass. What a play set up for O'Reilly, but that was Solani who came diving back to help out defensively. The 43-year-old still doing some smart things there defensively.
But Mike, who made that little pass? That was Steve Downey. We always talk about his toughness and that, you know, that grit and the way that he plays, but he is a skilled hockey player.
Will flick over towards Duchesne, who's headed to the bench. The hit from Lovejoy to deliver the puck in. We're down the last 3:45 here in the period. Landeskog jammed it towards the net, and Foss came up with the save for the Ducks. At center ice, Johnson for the Avalanche. Pass across the rink. Hayden nails it into the corner. Hard bounce out of the corner boards for Stastny, but he's stripped of the puck by Perry. Stick check as he came to the line. Fouled up and shot in by Lovejoy for Anaheim. Varlamov feeds it to the corner. Varlamov just tripped it from the net.
Yeah. He just went to look back and he just tripped over his feet.
With the puck, Fowler put it behind the net for Bocheman. 3 minutes to go in the period. Bounce pass up ahead for Winnick. Shoots it wide of Varlamov. Tanguay reaching for the puck, one-handed ahead, and it's snatched up by Jamie McGinn. To the red line, shoots the puck into the Anaheim zone. Behind the net, centering pass, shot, score! MacKinnon with a great pass. Nathan MacKinnon set that up, and a fantastic finish by McGinn. But there's the first NHL point. Many more to come for Nathan MacKinnon as he sets up McGinn to make it 4-0 Avalanche.
Well, Mike, watch it, fans, and enjoy it, because this isn't going to be the last one you're going to see from this kid. But Jamie McGinn, as we talked about, has been so good, so smart playing with this guy, with MacKinnon. Like MacKinnon did not get a point in the exhibition series, the pregame, you know, in the answers. But people, again, you get back to the idea, the bigger the moment, the better he plays. This is the big moment in this building. And you can see how he is relaxing as the games go along. The first couple of games he played in preseason, Mike, he just looked like he was bound up. He was so tight. And between the last two preseason games, Patrick talked to us and said, just relax. Just play the game the way you want to play it. And he gets his first NHL point. A beautiful pass. Great finish by McGinn. Alex Tanguay picks up his second point.
Sure does. That's 2 assists for Alex Tanguay. The Avalanche lead this game 4-0. Bouncer to the corner. Grabbed by Mitchell. Hand off. Get it. And he had Bordeleau in front of the net. But he got tipped. Get it to Bordeleau. Tip to the corner. Mitchell slams the puck around the boards. Looked it up and out to center ice. Grabbed by Bonino. He's over the line. Dropped it back. Shot. And Varlamov. He's been a wall tonight. He makes another save and then some more feistiness right in front of him.
Downey is just giving it to Lovejoy right now because Lovejoy went after the kid.
We might have something happening here. Cody McLeod and Patrick Maroon. Here we go. First fight of the season. Big left hand by McLeod. Missed. Maroon comes back. Holding with that left hand. Trying to get in a quick right jab. And McLeod stunned him a little bit. Oh, an uppercut by Maroon. A couple of other uppercuts in the roundhouse by Maroon. McLeod holding him tight with him. A couple of shots to the side of the head. Maroon comes right back. McLeod and Maroon. Our first fight of the season. A little soft right hand by Maroon. Both getting a little arm weary. A little tap from Maroon on McLeod. And McLeod breathing a little heavy there as he's headed. They're going to go to the locker room with the time remaining, only a minute 52. Instead of going to the penalty boxes, they're headed to the locker room.
And Cody just sits that one goal away from the Gordie Howe hat trick. You know, Anaheim. He's got the helmet off. He said, you got the visor on and you got the helmet. Take that off. We're going. And away they went.
Now Peter,
he took his helmet.
Remove your own helmet.
You can't remove your own helmet.
That's a penalty, right?
And they're talking about it right now. McLeod was taken off in the course of the action. Now, that's what they're talking about right now because the kid clearly reached up, grabbed his helmet, and took it off. I mean, that's the spirit of the rule. But, Mike, on the other side, what's the spirit of fighting in the National Hockey League? Like it, dislike it, the idea is the guy had a visor on and a helmet. So, yep. Doesn't appear to be, there's nothing up there. Talking to the coach right now, Patrick Waugh. There's his first explanation.
There's no chance that McLeod unhooked it. Is there?
I don't think
we
so.
saw that in the preseason where guys will line up for the fight. All right, you take my helmet off, I'll take your helmet off, and now we'll fight. But I don't think that was the case. That certainly looked like he took his own helmet off.
It did, but again, did the referee just say, you know what? Let's let it go. I mean, that was an interesting.
For nothing.
No, it's just the idea that McLeod already had it off, and the kid was doing the right thing, you know. And so,
but that's not the rule, though.
No, sure. So we'll figure that one out. But that was. When you look at that period that started off slowly, the first 7 minutes, Mike, Anaheim had slowed things down.
I think reading the list, they say he took it off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So Patrick Waugh is certainly aware of that rule. But there should have been a penalty. Another save by Varlamov, sent out in front, and that one is pushed away by the Avalanche. And Sark's got it away from in front of the net. Centered shot. Oh my! Oh my! What a flash of the glove by Varlamov after the perfect setup in front of the net by the Ducks. Cross-side pass. It dipped in front by O'Reilly. And it went high and out of play. Varlamov has been unbelievable in this game.
Well, it started in the first minute of this game.
Sure did.
Before this game started, we were saying that, you know, for every team, goaltending is such a key. But for Vardy, that was such a big start to this year for him. And every time Anaheim's made that little push, was first to get that first goal of the game, but then was back in the game at various moments. He just not allowed it.
Alex Tanguay will take this face-off. No stranger to the center position. Behind the net, Getzlaf will get to it. Pushed around the boards. Get to the corner. Chip back towards the point. That shot float up in front of the net. We go to the final minute of what has been a terrific second period for the Avs. They've scored 3 times. Everything keeps going their way tonight for Colorado.
Avalanche, the Ducks getting a little upset, Mike. There's starting to be some little plays behind, you know, the scenes here where they're getting the sticks up and they're going after some guys.
Caranto shoots the puck to the corner, comes behind the net, tips around the boards. Palmieri sends the pass across the neutral zone for Getzlaf, but the play is offside.
Mike, there was just a hit behind the play that, oh my gosh. It's Gabe Landeskog hitting Corey Perry. Here's the puck. The puck's going around. Now here comes Landeskog. Boom. Mike, that is Perry being looked at right now. He just got rocked.
Well, he's been hit hard twice in this game. Remember, back in the first period, Jamie McGinn nailed him pretty good. The Avalanche with 3 goals on 9 shots this period. Icing. There is the quick whistle on the hybrid icing.
And if you saw it, what did it save? It saved McGinn from coming in on that defenseman who's going back to get the puck and just ramming it, even though the whistle may go.
2-3-9. Our winner tonight wins
That was a perfect example of the referee looking at the play, judging, and saying, "All right, we don't want any danger here." And
Back to the dots.
whistle, the whistle
and the
was blown.
defensive player was there first.
Last seconds of the period. An outstanding period in a lot of areas, Peter, for the Avalanche. Scoring goals, great goaltending, special teams were good. It was as good a period, I think, as Coach Waugh would like to have seen.
They were resilient when Anaheim sort of started to clog things up. They came back, but this period will be remembered as a period when Nathan MacKinnon got his first NHL point.
He assisted on the Jamie McGinn goal. That made it 3-0. So, Steve Downey, John Mitchell, and Jamie McGinn scoring during the second period to add to the lead, and it's 4-0 in favor of the Avs. Stay tuned for the Subaru Intermission Report. Colorado Avalanche Hockey on Altitude is brought to you by your local Ford stores. Ford, go further. Pepsi, live for now. Dodge, visit Dodge.com or visit your local dealer today. Dairy Queen, the home of fan food, not fast food. And by Shortline Subaru. Save money, drive better. At Bentley Center in Denver, Colorado, the Avalanche coming on the ice for the start of the third period. They lead this game 4-0. And during the second period, Nathan MacKinnon got his first NHL point on a great assist. Well, you dream about it your whole life, playing your first National Hockey League game, and he is playing very well tonight.
And what you liked about this game, and maybe more importantly the second period, was how involved he was as a hockey player. Here's the nice little pass to Jamie McGinn, who's cutting into the net. You saw how excited he was. But he was hitting, he was taking hits, he got involved in a little skirmish with Lovejoy. Everything you could want from a player, never mind an 18-year-old player, you got from McKinnon. And I'm just talking to some of the scouts, you know, there's a lot of scouts here tonight. Same thing, he can fly. And at the other side of it, Mike, again, a man who has, from minute one, been on his game. Semyon Varlamov, just big save after big save. There's that one early, and there's the one later on in the period. Both left pad saves, comes across, and this is Corey Perry. I mean, that is just a big-time save. But more importantly, Mike, he has looked big in net. Every time Anaheim has had the opportunity to sort of scoop its way back in with a goal, he just has not allowed it.
22 saves, but I think that 30 seconds into the game. That one goes in, who knows where the rest of the night, because the whole atmosphere could have changed in this building, but the fans have been electrified. They have just been part of the excitement here tonight. Patrick Waugh's team is leading 4-0 going to the third period.
And you know, for Patrick Waugh, this will continue to be a learning period for him about his team. Because the Avalanche, what they did really well in that second period was not when they were scoring the goals. It was before, when they weren't getting things going offensively. Anaheim didn't have that big flurry and get a goal. The Avalanche sort of, okay, let's get this thing started. Then they came and they got the power play and really took over the game.
The Avs scored 4 more goals in the home opener. They're 7-1. The most goals they've scored in a home opener, 6. You have to go back to 1996 when that happened against San Jose. Patrick Waugh made 7 consecutive starts in season openers for the Avalanche. Tonight, Varlamov making his 3rd consecutive season opener start. That's now 2nd to Patrick Waugh. Downey, offside, received that pass. By the way, Downey's goal first, Peter, since February 25th of 2012 in Detroit. It's been a little while for Downey since scoring a goal.
And just looking at the stat sheet, you know, for Downey, 10 minutes. I mean, you know, he's had some shots on goal. But Mike, guess who's leading the Avalanche in minutes played so far? Andre Benoit. Look at his penalty minutes right there. Before the injury last year, Steve Ott, Scott Hartnell, and Steve Downey were the only players since 09 to have 100 goals, 400 penalty minutes.
We have begun our third period. Palmieri centering pass, grabbed by Ryan Getzlaf. Centered in front, Palmieri, but he got hit by Landeskog. Passes back to Boschman, angles it back in front of the net after it came off the end boards. Stanton shoots the puck across for Hayden. Got Tanguay with him. Shoots him on the pass. Ducks get the puck back. Boschman. Looking up ice. Makes the pass. And that puck slides back behind the net. Varlamov sends up behind the net. Solani makes a steal. On the center in front. Picked off by the Avs. Solani got it back and waves it back in and wide on the net. Parenteau after it in the corner. Up the boards. Silverberg had the puck momentarily for the Ducks. Puts it back out in the center. Smashed back in by the Ducks. Barry. Well, as Patrick Waugh learns things about his team, Peter's going to learn how do they deal with a 4-0 lead in the third period.
Oh, yeah, there's a way to play this. You want to use all 4 lines. You want to make sure that you make no mistakes. You're thinking a little bit more defense than offensive situations. And you don't take a bad penalty.
Around the boards, the puck goes back to center ice. 2 minutes into the third period. 4-0 for Colorado. 4 different goal scorers. O'Reilly, Downey, Mitchell, McGinn. And let the lamp in this game for Colorado. Side of the net. Ducks trying to squeeze the puck free. Landeskog had it for a moment. Pushed up the boards. Fowler couldn't hold it in. Bonino race after it. He's getting to it for the Ducks. Back down the board. Scooped in the corner. Perry gets checked. And Bolesky rides Landeskog into the backboard. Bolesky comes up with the puck. Moves it back toward the point with the pass off the boards for Fowler. Dropped it in the corner behind the net for Perry. Ducks are moving the puck around the Avalanche zone. Over to Fowler. Steps out in front. And his pass broken up by Landeskog. And the Avalanche maneuver back out to center ice. 3-on-2 developing. Mitchell. Landeskog. Handoff goes to Bordelot. Back to the high slot. Hayden with it. A big shot that missed on the short side. Chip sends the puck to center. Avalanche recover.
You see why Bordelot continues to stay in the lineup for the Avalanche.
Downey drills one high and wide. And behind the net. Scooped away. Johnson comes back to the puck. Blocked at the line. O'Reilly's got a goal and an assist in this game. Tanguay's got a couple of points as well with 2 assists. Bounced off the boards. Cogliano had it for a moment for the Ducks. Slides back in. Played nearly 4 minutes here in the third period. And Benoit will shoot the puck wide of the net.
Mike, I'm going to correct myself. That Steve Downey stat, it doesn't sound quite right. I'll check on that one. But it's Steve Ott and Scott Hartnell and Downey, but it's 400 penalty minutes, but I'll check the number of goals. I don't want to give those guys too many goals.
Barry holds the puck in the corner for Parenteau. Then back up the boards. Flip out to center ice. Butler makes the pass to the center circle. Sent over the line. Avalanche get the puck back. And it's cleared out to center ice by Guerin. Butler finds his man at center ice. And the lead pass for Palmieri goes back behind the net. Spin around. McKinnon. They come out to center ice. Nathan McKinnon has an assist in this game. Goes to McGinn. Back in front. That one's waved wide.
Not going to get caught from behind, I'm telling you. It's just not going to happen.
Perry. Shot save made by Varlamov. Puck kicked out and then cleared out. No icing on the play. Fowler pass for Getzlaff. A slip away from Stastny. Finds Lovejoy, his shot goes off the stick. And then climbs up the glass and hits the net and goes out of play. Colorado State University Global Campus. You can finish your bachelor's degree or earn your master's 100% online from CSU Global. You can apply now at csuglobal.edu.
You know, we talk about Patrick Waugh and, you know, his first game. It's also the team's first game with Patrick Waugh behind them. They had 6 exhibition games, but this is their first regular season game. So you're getting used to those voices that are behind you.
Well, not only Patrick Waugh, but we've also got one change in the coaches. Now, Tim Army was an assistant coach last year. Really adds his back, but yeah, we've got some different voices there. Benito shot. Another nice save from Varlamov. Postman's shot gets blocked. Valesky turns and shoots. Had that one denied as Benoit got in the way. Up off the boards. Well, they just haven't taken their foot off the pedal here, at least defensively. They're making sure they play smart in their own zone.
They're doing a good job, but every time it gets close, Varlamov has just, again, I'm impressed with how big, solid, and strong he's looked in net.
Ducks are now actually out shooting the Avalanche in this game, 25-24. They have that commanding 4-0 lead. Getting back to the puck for the Avalanche, and defenseman sends it around for O'Reilly. He got the goal scoring started back in the first period. Has had a 1-0 lead after the first. Added 3 more goals in the second period. Are up 4-0 here in the third. O'Reilly winds the puck behind the net. Spun around by Allen. Back to Allen. And the Ducks defenseman shoots the puck into center ice. Cogliano will wheel his way into the Avalanche zone. Dropped it in the save made by Varlamov after that shot by Vatanen. Quick headman pass finds Downey. Skates through the neutral zone and then slams one in on net. After Foss made the save, Shipp sends the puck to center ice. Grabbed by Perreault. He gets tagged as he got to the line. Again, did his best to disrupt the play for the Ducks. Ben Johnson for the Avalanche. Peels away, moving back behind the net. Rolls it around to the right side. That's a fight for McGinn. Onto McKinnon. Trying to center in front for Parenteau. Again, another exhibition of that speed, how quickly McKinnon got to the puck in the corner.
Mike, he looked before he touched the puck. Those are offensive instincts.
Got down the ice by Parenteau. Maybe you can explain that a little bit more. Would a natural thing be, I got to get to the puck now, then I'll look and see what to do?
Oh, absolutely. Most guys, there it is, I'm fine. I got to get it. but as he's going to the puck, he turned, he checked. Parento on the far side was wide open. He just missed making the pass.
Gets left. Trying to make a backhand pass. Caught the skate of Landeskog of the Avalanche. And then the Ducks' Lovejoy ices the puck. And we've got a whistle. 11:39 to go. Here in the third period, the Avalanche loving things right now.
After just a miserable time last year because of the knee injury, Steve Downing getting back into games, getting physical. Like he had a fight in Dallas, and we were flying from Dallas to Las Vegas. We talked a little bit about that fight. He said, boy, I just got so excited. He must have thrown his gloves 20 feet in the air to get it started. And, you know, just getting it going. Just getting it going. And I'll tell you, I mean, I've told this before, like, but the situation is such that when he's on that bench and the guys are chirping at the Avalanche bench, when he stands up and looks down, a lot of guys sit down on the other team because he's just got that little look that most guys don't have.
And he has a reputation.
Oh, absolutely. He can back it up, and he will. But I'm just saying, you know, he can get as wild a look as any players, you know. I've seen it a few times, trust me.
Directed at you?
Not for very long. That's when I had to tie my laces. You know? Well, Line's having a tough time right there. The block guy, it didn't happen today. But again, look, Mike, Patrick Roy started it. But the communication on the bench, you can see it. The guy's talking all the time. Patrick Roy very, very specific about where he wants the forecheck to start from, where he wants backside pressure, side pressure, the soft, you know, trap that they're going to use, the things, the words that they use. These players are starting to get used to.
Stastny, Landeskog, and Tanguay forward line for the Avs, but it's the Ducks who break away with the puck. Palmarex moves in, and a nice poke check by Varlamov. To the point, shot, hit wide of the net. Palmarex trying to stuff it at the side. That's blocked by Varlamov. Ducks still with the puck. Gets left. Down the boards for Palmarex. Gets left, spins away from Hayden. Palmarex, puck behind the net. Handoff goes to Perry, the Ducks. That gets left, where they can move that puck. They can start when, especially Perry and Getzlaf start cycling that puck. They can become very dangerous.
Well, they're game changers, but they're also, you've got to be so aware of them when they're on the ice because they can dominate physically and with skill.
Side of the net. And behind the net, centering pass, shot kicked out by Varlamov. By the way, McLeod and Maroon's 5-minute major penalties are done. That's Maroon right in front of the net as Varlamov makes the save. Again, boys, he's seen that puck. It looks like a beach ball today for Varlamov. His team leads at 4-0. Let's answer tonight's Did You Know question presented by Stevenson Automotive, Colorado's home team. Question was, how many other former goalies are currently head coaches in the NHL? Let's give you the answer. None. There's your winner, Alex. Congratulations. In fact, if you look, Peter, at the history, not that many. That to me is surprising, although you always say that goalies aren't that intelligent.
No. They're just different kind of people. Very different. But again, I get back to what I've been hearing in all the press rooms and talking to a lot of people. The respect that Patrick's had for how he's approached his job. 8 years driving the buses in the Quebec Major Junior League in small towns, night after night, 3 games in 3 nights, and, 6, 7, 8 hour bus rides.
And there's your difference, right? A guy who coached at a lower level for a long time before getting that NHL job.
You earned it. You went on, it was not handed to you.
Pass to center ice. Push to hit for Bordeleau. Bordeleau, McLeod, and Mitchell out for the Avalanche. Benoit the puck for Colorado. His pass picked off at center. Bounce back towards Benoit. We're halfway through the third period. Avalanche in good shape right now. Leading it 4-0. Search with the shot, and Foss makes the save and does not allow a rebound.
I'm just going to clear it up, Mike. It was the three guys that between 09 and 2012 who had 40 goals and 400 penalty minutes were Steve Downey, Scott Hartnell, and Steve Ott. I knew I was giving him a few too many goals, but it's pretty select company.
Yes. O'Reilly shot, and that was tipped by Duchesne, goes wide, and then goes out of play.
Downey again, talking to Lovejoy. When you play the game like Downey plays it, the frustration you must have when you don't have that release of you know, letting go of just all that hockey energy that you have. And now, finally, he's able to get rid of some of it.
After the faceoff, Watt trying to shoot the puck in, but kind of fumbled a little bit going in over the line. That caused the play to be offside. Now, if you're looking for a great car, check out all the new Kias. Visit ColoradoKiaDealer.com and discover Kia's full lineup of high-quality, stylish, and dependable vehicles. That's KiaDealers.com. Shot in around the boards. Varlamov stopped it behind the net. Whipped it around the glass. Dropped in the corner. Backhanded as it reverses to the far side away. Back towards the point. Bouncer towards Varlamov. Makes the save. Benoit comes up with the puck. The red line shift in.
Mike, there's a Benoit shift. Right in front, that big body's around. He takes a puck, carries it out of the zone, gets to center ice and chips it.
Shot by Parenteau. Gets blocked. Long pass ahead. Defenseman to defenseman as Johnson hit Hader with the pass. Drilled in. Pass in front. Score! Another great pass from McKinnon. Sets up McGinn for another goal. And the Avalanche lead 5-0. 2 goals for McGinn, but what another great setup by Nathan McKinnon.
I mean, I guess the only thing you just watch it and you go, we were there, Mike, you and I were here at the beginning. I mean, it was a great, look at him, does he want it or what? And then look at that little touch. He just pulls it back and just fires it out front. Well, I mean, just, Mike, that's a great pass. That is a great pass, great play, a great walk. He wanted the puck, he knew what he wanted to do. McGinn, a couple of goals, a continuation of the great play that he had all through camp.
All right, we'll be back. The Avalanche continue to add to their total. They're now up 5-0. Jamie McGinn with 2 goals. The Avs up 5-zip in the third.
8:35 left to go in the third. It is Colorado all over Anaheim. 5-0 this morning. Patrick Roy, he met with the media, and this is what he said. He said, we want to surprise the world of hockey. That's our goal. Now, this is interesting. He actually said, yeah, I'm nervous for tonight. When you care, you should be nervous. This morning at this press conference, he seemed a little bit subdued. Although, however, in this game, obviously, he did not look subdued. Guys.
Thanks very much, Julie. Yeah, admitted a little nervous. And that means you care. And his team has certainly responded, and they played well. 5-0 lead. All right, let's look at the Kia scoring summary from the last goal. Jamie McGinn gets his second of the game. 11-14, and McKinnon and Parenteau with the assist. First point of the season for Parenteau. Shot by Silfverberg is caught by Varlamov and dropped down to the ice. And finally ends up at center ice. And Nathan McKinnon with 2 assists in his NHL debut. In on Varlamov. That's a little tougher to handle than you might think.
I'm not sure he picked it up right away, and he just collapsed to make that save.
Field center by Getzlaf. Sends it over the line. Fowler lost hold of the puck. Carried the other way by Tanguay. His shot goes up high. Across the rink. Palmieri. Shoots right on target. Save made by Varlamov. Johnson took a hit in the corner, but stayed up on his skates, then was able to make a play.
What a great play. Perry comes across hard. He takes a check and then recovers.
Landeskog draws a penalty. Getzlaf was going to the box. And Landeskog carried the puck in. Getzlaf pulled him down. And the Avs are going to get a power play with 7:05 left in this game.
When you look back at this game, a real turning point in this game, Mike, was the power play goal. Anaheim had started to take over a little bit of control in that second period. They'd outshoot the Avalanche the first 5 or 7 minutes, 6-0. But the Avalanche get that power play goal. And from that point on, Downey got the power play goal. Nice pass by Ryan O'Reilly. Tanguay picked up his first point. But then all of a sudden, Mitchell's goal, 3, 4, and now 5-0 and in complete control of this game.
And now a chance to go on the power play again. Downey, O'Reilly, Duchesne, Tanguay, and Benoit.
Time on the penalty, 12 minutes, 55 seconds of the third period.
Duchesne moves the puck ahead. Power play chance for the Avalanche. 4th of the game. 1 for 3 in this one. Varlamov will handle the puck. Right down the middle. Slowed up by Duchesne. Comes over the line for O'Reilly. He gets to in the corner. Along the boards. Played back towards the point. Pass. Downey in front. Shot. Score! Matt Duchesne. Boy, was that some pretty passing, though. That's what Alex Tanguay can do for you.
Yeah,
and then Downey with a nice pass, too.
Downey's was ridiculous. Absolutely a great read through the passing lane by Tanguay. But the last thing you expected was to Downey to just watch Downey, bottom part of your screen. Puck comes across, gets it, wait, bang. Mike, that is just fabulous. Duchesne gets it. Tanguay picks up his third. But man, what a hockey play by Downey on that pass across. Whew.
Covered by Varlamov after Matt Duchesne's goal at 13:42. Steve Downey, Alex Tanguay assisting. Downey with a couple of points. Tanguay with 3 assists in this game. And the Avalanche are up 6-0 over the Ducks.
One of the things that, Mike, you talk about, especially the top 9 forwards, for the Avalanche, they got great hands, but probably none better than Alex Tanguay.
When you wind up, looks like a big slap shot from the point. As another play developing. Nice move, and that one clanged off the crossbar. Mitchell creating an opportunity. McLeod from behind the net. 5:45 still left in the third period. Passed out to center. Just climbing over the boards. Erik Johnson taking the puck for the Avalanche. Parenteau gives it right back to him. Parenteau with the puck. Over towards McKinnon. Couple assists in this game for the young player. Look at him maneuver behind the net. Played it back to the corner. Parenteau slides the pass. Johnson sends it across. And the Ducks move it to center ice. Palmieri one-on-one with Johnson. Shot. And that one rang high. Gets lap in front and had Perry sitting right in front. Varlamov got the stick out.
It's the second time he's taken a great scoring chance away from Anaheim with a good stick work.
Parenteau for the Avalanche, slowing things up and then lifts the puck back to center. Lovejoy's pass right on the stick of Perry. Turns it behind the net. The chant of Varley starting up here. Shot around the boards. Lifted in, Lovejoy. pass for Fowler, returned back across.
No.
Up ice, Silverberg. Hooks the puck to the corner, Solani on it. And Benoit, smooth play, take it away from him. Downey trying to chop the puck into the center zone. He does so. Ducks have it back. Then O'Reilly took the puck. He lost it. Solani sends it over the line. Thoreau. Shot missed on the short side. Pass behind the net for Solani. Walked out in front, turns, he shoots, had it blocked. Botman pinch it in from the point. Solani peels away for the puck. Centering pass, covered by Varlamov. So the Avalanche, the goals from McGinn and Duchesne here in the third period. They lead at 6-0.
Well, Mike, I pity the fool. It's got to pick 3 stars tonight. There's
too
so
hard.
many
Difficult.
players. You look at Alex Tanguay, 3 assists. Jamie McGinn, couple of just nice goals. But when you look at the final piece of the puzzle, McKinnon, 2 assists and 2 great assists to the Colorado Avalanche. His 4th 2-goal game, and Mike, a little chemistry. I mean, you look at the chemistry between a couple of guys, you're seeing it right there tonight.
Certainly are.
He's had a couple of assists, and
You better be sharp. You're picking 3 stars tonight.
can't go wrong. Right? You can
Throw a dart down there and any
pick
3
2,
guys.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could pick 2 sets of 3 stars.
Just over 3 minutes left in this game. The Avalanche up 6-0. Ooh, loose puck right in front of the net. The Avalanche do their best to get it out of the zone. Ducks wait for everybody to get onside. Waited too long, and now a delay offside on the Ducks. And a quick long pass ahead. Again, shoots, missed the net. Back up the wing, Gillespie. Push the puck ahead. 34 shots for the Ducks. Gillespie's shot steered away by Varlamov. Continues to be strong. Maroon puts the puck down the boards and lifted back to center.
Yeah, the Anaheim certainly did not lay down. They have been coming at the Avalanche. Have been getting some scoring opportunities. It's just been, I mean, a great night of goaltending by Semyon Varlamov.
Landeskog sprinting through center. Could not get the shot away. Tanguay, handoff, shot, trickling puck in front of the net, and Fox makes the save. And holds it with 2 minutes to go in this one.
Well, we talked about Patrick Roy, what he would learn about his club here in the 3rd period with a 4-0 lead. They have been most responsible in their own zone. A couple of breakdowns, but workable stuff, but they have been back. No one's cheated. You haven't seen anybody leave the zone or leave their defensive responsibility in this 3rd period.
Duchesne got a goal earlier. Shoots the puck up high. May have been tipped. Held at the point. Down the slot. O'Reilly wrists one wide.
Mike, O'Reilly may have one of the quickest releases of anybody in the Avalanche. I mean, it is a rocket, and it's quick.
Puts it ahead. Back to center ice down. Makes the pass. Blocked. Carried in down the wing by Perry. I think a drop pass for Getzlaf. And there are now just 70 seconds left to go in this game as the Avalanche ice the puck. Oh, we got a little something happening. Steve Downey has dropped the gloves. And Getzlaf. Well, Steve Downey and Ryan Getzlaf going at it right in front of the Ducks bench. They got a pretty good strong hold on each other. An uppercut by Downey, then the right hand shot by Getzlaf, followed up by an uppercut. Downey giving a little way in size.
Giving away a ton.
But he is a tough customer, and finally the linesman is separating the two. So Steve Downey If he gets the 5-minute major, that'll be the Gordie Howe hat trick.
He just finished up
Steve Downey.
Yep, just finished up the Gordie Howe. Now, this started well before this. Getzlaf and Downey were barking at each other, and Getzlaf, no question, he started that. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they say. Getzlaf, like 6'4", 220. He's and I mean a strong man. So was Getzlaf smooth enough to look like he didn't get, because Downey was just coming back up the ice. I think it's going to be 5-on-5 hockey.
Was he getting the Gordie Howe hat trick then?
Yeah,
The major, yep. We're down the last minutes of this home opener for the Avalanche. Down the slot, Totman shot comes wide. Thrown out in front of the net. Zalani backhand try gets blocked. One-handed out of the zone by Barry. Off the glass and out. 30 seconds left to go, and what has just been a wonderful night of hockey for the Avalanche. Now, McKinnon got tripped up at the blue line. Is he okay?
No, I don't think he is, Mike. And that was Lovejoy again. And he...
Scramble in the corner for the puck. Bounce back in. Side. Shot, save, rebound. On a score with 4 seconds left to go by Jacob Silfverberg.
Like, you're worried about the guy. I'm watching McKinnon right now. Oh boy. Yeah, he sticks the left. Wow, left leg goes out. And here's the goal.
Yeah, Varlamov gets hit in the head right before the shot takes place.
Yeah, but I'm watching Matt Sokolowski go over talk right now to Nathan McKinnon. He has not talked to the trainer yet. There's about 5 or 6 seconds to go.
Yeah, they need to make the adjustment on the clock.
Yeah.
Puck is dropped. And then Bordelot turning things up. So it's McLeod right at the end. Here we go. Little scuffle. Developing to maybe a little bit more right at the whistle. And Cody's got that McLeod face on.
Well, that was a direct reaction to what Lovejoy did.
See Patrick Roy's reaction to that as well.
Look at Bordelot.
Well, we knew we were going to get fire and passion from Patrick Roy. We're seeing that right at the end of game number 1. As he makes his debut as a head coach of the National Hockey League. Now we got a little something maybe happening out at center ice. The linesmen are taking Bordelot away. There's still the focus on the coaches. Here's Bordelot being steered away by Don Henderson with the linesman. Now finally the Avalanche have had enough of that, and they're going to go over and congratulate Semyon Varlamov on his victory and the team's win tonight. Well, bottom line, the Avalanche win it 6-1. I think we got a little rivalry. We look forward to this season and Peter, games between the Avalanche and the Ducks. I don't think we've seen the last of this.
This one won't be forgotten. What Anaheim got slammed tonight. This is their opening game. They get beat 6-1. And then the other stuff that comes into it, and you absolutely are going to be looking at this one.
And there's the team acknowledging the fans, and the Avalanche with a 6-1 victory. And there'll be some things that happen right at the end of the game that'll be much talked about. You know that. All right, let's check out tonight's Coors Molson 3 stars of the game. A lot of choices here tonight. The Avalanche had some players that were absolutely outstanding to contribute to this 6-1 victory. As the team heads off to the locker room, let's listen in for tonight's announcement.
For tonight's 3 stars of the game is selected by Mike Haynes of Altitude Television. Tonight's 3rd star from the Avalanche with 2 assists, the first 2 points of his NHL career, number 29, Nathan MacKinnon. Tonight's 2nd star, scoring the first goal of the season, unassisted, number 90, Ryan O'Reilly. And tonight's first star with 35 saves, number 1, Semyon Varlamov. Our number 1 star is standing by with Julie Brahman.
Varley, 35 saves tonight. What'd you see out there? A fantastic game for you.
Well, first of all, thanks everyone for coming. That was a great crowd today, unbelievable. We're very happy. I think all my teammates so happy to see sold out today. And then I can say today was a tough game. You know, the score 6-1, but that was a tough win.
How important is it to start off the season with a win like this at home?
So again.
How important is it to start off the season with a win like this at home?
Very important, especially first game at home when you play with your fans. Very important.
Thanks, Varley. Congrats.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, back to you upstairs.
All right, thank you very much. Semyon Varlamov, great start to his season. Terrific start for the Avalanche as they win it here at Pepsi Center in Denver, 6-1. Please join us again as right back at it on Friday night. They'll be hosting the Nashville Predators. For continuing coverage of your Avs, let's go to the studio for the Auto Nation Locker Room Report.